Right, so really simple message this morning. It's just about working with candidates. Good products always wins, especially with difficult markets. You know, if we are in a recession, which we won't know until end of the quarter, but good product will always challenge anything. You could have no recruitment experience whatsoever and make a placement on the biggest deal, biggest unit the company's ever done on the basis your candidate was top, and therefore you can introduce them. So let's make this aligned from a private equity perspective. Obviously there's going to be growth, there's going to be needs, there's going to be perspectives, but when times get harder, it just means that we've just got to share a little bit more of that profile. So those leads that only just want the CV, okay, let's maybe get them in front of them, but make sure you're working really good profiles and then getting them in front of the potential clients. And it might mean that you waste a fair bit of time, but once you've written up the spec and the candidate and got the profile ready and everything, it's just kind of a copy and paste type exercise to get them out there, but sharing them profiles with the potential companies and banging on their door more than just an e-shot or a targeted email type process. Just trying to do a little bit of extra outreach, a little bit of extra messaging to open those doors to those particular candidates. Now, when you're doing that, you've got to focus on who is the direct competitor of that individual candidate, because that's both what will open the door to potentially needing a search, but also as a proactive introduction to profiles for this process. So it's just about being known, being there, being present, getting that conversation. And as I said, you don't have to be a good recruiter to get in the door. The candidate who's just worked obviously ticked the diversity boxes, female, which is well needed in private equity for diversification from an LP perspective. So opened up quite a few doors. They've all slammed shut, subsequently posted. But if there was a potential need, if there was a potential crime, and if you got in the right time, you would open that door. But when you can't get them on the phone, they're not responding, they're not going for X, Y, and Z, it is a method of utilization to try and get it on there, depending where you're at. So if you've got 3 retained searches on, you're smashing it and you're all over it, then I wouldn't be using this method. But if you're struggling a little bit for vacancies and progress and processes, we've got things running with a couple of Halima's processes, which are, we've got no handle, no control on because they're spec-ins, but at least that's then therefore there for that to then materialise and come off, and you're opening those doors and you're getting candidates in front of profiles, and therefore it's working. So it's just about good product. If you've got really good product, anybody will speak to you, anybody will have a conversation with you, and your tone, pitch, positioning on the phone doesn't really actually matter, because all they're interested in is, you have something I want. If I started selling Rolex watches that were 50k for 50 quid, I reckon there'd be clients ringing me to say, oh yeah, John, we might be able to give you a search. When do I get the Rolex? So it's about what people want, and you just got to be able to put them in front of them to be able to take, basically encourage them in to a dialogue and a conversation. Is one other bit of leverage, and it's something that I built this firm on the back of introducing candidates, setting up conversations, wasting my time for a lot of it, but equally, when I was doing all of those processes, I was getting at least 1 or 2 spec-ins a year, which, from that perspective, could be anything from 60k to 120k if it's two deals, 3 deals, whatever. So that's what you've got to think about, is how can you get those people in? How can you get the big boys that you've interviewed recently, especially for Lima? How can you get those big boys into the firms as targets? How do you get those candidates into those businesses? And just thinking a little bit differently. We're trying to work candidates to get vacancies, to get searches, but could you get candidates into processes and into firms and into businesses? And just thinking a little bit more. So when you've got a really good product, how can I place this candidate? Just changing that little bit of a mindset when the times are a little bit difficult, or searches are particularly low in your space, so how can you make a placement on this candidate?